Blind Outdoors, talking about making sausage with your venison and what you'll need to do it and how easy it really is. Everyone can do this. I know you can take it to a processor and have them do it, but it's a lot of fun and you get the satisfaction of making yourself, and you can tweak the recipes and all that kind of stuff, so, and you'll actually save some money as well. All right, you're going to want to have some of these blue type latex gloves. You can get those at Home Depot. You're going to want a knife and a sharpener. You're going to need a grinder of some sort. I got this one a long time ago, but you can get them at Northern Tool, Bass Pro Shop, Cabela's, and they range in different types of power and size. I like size 8 myself. Some guys like using 12. But it's whatever you can get attachments for and whatever you like to do with it later on. But it's a great grinder. And I also suggest getting a bigger diameter cutting plate. That's what this is right here. It comes normally with a really small hole cutting plate. But if you're going to make sausage or chili, this is great. And all you got to do is grind it twice if you want to make hamburger or chili, and it does it just great. But for sausage, you just want to grind it through once. And that's a stainless steel plate. And you can get those like at Bass Pro Shop and other places as well, like Cabela's and that kind of thing. And then you're also going to want a stuffer. Now you can use a grinder if you want, and it comes with stuffing tubes, and so you could use that. But I find that it's really difficult, and that air pockets make it hard to have consistently pressure to come out. So the other day, last year, I bought one of these on sale, and man, I love it. The only thing I wish I'd done was get the 15 pound instead of the 5 pound. So it takes me a little while to do 25 pounds of sausage, if you can imagine. And the other thing I suggest is you have a couple of bins. Now, I bought these just so I can have my meat tubs, but I've also used the wife's turkey pan, you know, the one that has a top and bottom lid. Those work great too. And but you just need one to hold the meat and one to grind it into. And then obviously you need something to put your spices and water in. And then, speaking of spices, there are all kinds of stuff that's already made up. We're going to do bratwurst today, and I bought this at the Bass Pro Shop, and it looks really good. I thought I want to give it a shot, and it was really easy. It's got everything you need in it. And of course, the next day I'm going to try some of this summer sausage. Oh yeah. But you need bigger casings than what I have today. And that's another thing you're going to need is casings. And as we get closer to stuffing, I'll show you those as well. And last but not least, you need pork. And according to these directions here, you need at least 20% pork fat. So I've got that, probably a little bit more. I'm grinding a ham and 2 shoulders of a spike a friend killed. And we're going to make it all into bratwurst. It's going to be awesome. All right, what we have here is cut venison and Boston pork butt. It's the fattiest meat I could find at the store. They don't actually sell you pork fat anymore. Can't do that. You may be able to find it somewhere at a local place. They may sell it to you. So I had to go with something that was as fat as I could. So this is right here, the pork. As you can tell, you can see all the white in it. And then over here, this is the venison. Now, some people say, well, how do you debone it and that kind of thing, or how do you clean it up? The biggest thing you've got to remember about venison is that it's really lean, so that's why you need the fat. But at the same time, there is fat on deer, especially if you get any corn-fed deer, or if they've been hitting acorns real hard, they'll develop fat. That is not what you want in your meat. You want to get rid of all the fat. Now, there is some membrane and there are some tendons in there, and if you can get that out, and it's according to your preference, go for it. But it won't change the taste so much as the fat will in deer. So you want to make sure that when you trim it out, when you cut it up, there's no real science to it. It's just cutting it up into strips to basically fit down this hole. And just to make it as clean as you can, so that way, you have a good flavor. So I cut it up in strips, and as you can tell, they're just strips that I can grab and I can put down that hole without hardly any effort. And usually they'll grab it and pull it right down, as I'll show you as we get going. All right, so we're gonna get started. We're in my luxurious garage to do all this. This is where I do all my skinning, and as you can tell, skinning rack. And this is where I do all my meat cutting, and it's nice out. Keep the door open. Don't have to worry about flies right now because it's kind of winter. And you don't have to worry about yellow jackets coming in on the meat. That's real nice. I got stung a lot doing it outside. So we're going to get going and grind all this pork, all this venison. If you'll notice, I don't have to really push down on it, just feed it. If you're pushing down on it, it's because you put too much in it, or your meat isn't cold enough. Alright, so we've done the last of our venison, and now we're going to grind the pork up right on top of it. Alright, we've just finished grinding up our pork, and now we're going to mix up the venison and the pork together before we add our seasoning. And really, guys, there's no fancy way to do this. You just get your hands in there and you mix it up together. And what you're trying to do is get a good blend between the venison and the pork. Now, the seasoning pack recommends you use the whole pack with 25 pounds of meat. Do I have 25 pounds of meat? Give or take. It's pretty close. But I think the most important thing that I'm learning is that you have enough pork. It's better to have a little bit too much pork than a little less. Otherwise, it could be kind of dry. And can you make sausage without pork? Sure you can. Just expect it to be kind of dry compared to when it has the pork fat in it. So I've got 25 pounds, give or take, and it says to dissolve all the contents of this bag into 25 ounces of water. So I've done that, and I'm stirring it just so that it has a consistency throughout the mixture here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it all over this, and then we're going to mix this up. I know, it looks like I'm pouring mud or gut juice on it, don't I? Ugh. But it's going to taste so good. Alright, so let's just dig in and do the same thing we did when we mixed our meat, the pork and the venison. Now, this is liquid, so be careful because it will slosh and get your cool shirt all messed up. Okay, we have now mixed up our venison, our pork, and our seasonings. So now all we have to do is stuff the stuffing tube, put on our casings, and start to make sausage links. And we've got our stuffer. It comes with a few nozzles. You can, I guess you can say small, medium, and large. And depending on the size of your casings, which you can get at Bass Pro Shop and other places like Cabela's, it'll tell you what size to use. And I don't have the exact size, so I'll use a size slightly smaller. But these are edible casings. They're really good, and they'll make great links. So all you have to do is take it, slide it on, and before I tie off the end here, I'm going to let a little meat come out so there's no air in the pocket. Now, if you get air in there at all you have to do is take a needle, and you can pop it a little bit, and it'll be fine. But it's not going to break the world or anything like that. It's sausage. Just cook it. All right, I got my canister filled, and what I failed to mention is sometimes it's useful to clamp down these stuffers so that you have to worry about it moving and shifting on you. So I've got a couple on this table to help, and I've went ahead and started the process so I can tie off the end with no air gaps. And basically you want to hold on to the casings so the casing doesn't slip off. And you don't want to hold on too tight and force that meat real tight because it can break your casing. Remember, they're dry until the meat hits it. So you just want to gently hold it and just kind of let it come out as it goes. And I'll do about what I think I like, size-wise, to go in my pan. And I'm just going to pinch it a little bit, make a little bit of room in between the meat. If you just go to start twisting, you can create pressure and it'll rip on you. So be careful of that. And I may do that because I'm not a pro. But once you get it, twist it about 4 or 6 times. And then the other way, you want to do it again. Notice I'm not measuring. It doesn't matter. And there you have it. 4 sausage links ready to be packaged and put in the freezer or cooked. But not hard at all. All right, so here's our finished product of bratwurst. Made a few extra long ones just to go on the grill. And All right, guys, here it is. Let's try it out.